And welcome. This is Dan French here from Guaranteed Rate. I'm also in studio with my co-host, Chuckits Krusawat from Simply Vegas. Chuckits, what's happening today, buddy?
I'm doing good. What's up, everybody?
In studio, again, we have the one and only Mr. Brett Jenny.
What's happening?
What's going on, buddy? He's on Chuckits' team, and we're trying to bring a few people on to maybe get some recognition and know who they are, you know?
Who is this guy?
Yeah, who is he? Right?
Up and coming for 15 years.
So we talked a little bit last week with Brett on how he got started, and just over a quick, short window of information, why don't you give the audience quickly who you are and how you got to where you're at?
So, Brett Jenny, been a realtor for 15 years, started in Madison, Wisconsin area where I'm from.
Yeah.
For about 4 years, moved out here in January of 09.
Talking to the mic.
Oh,
man.
sorry, moved out here January of 09 into the thick of it all and worked my chops every 7 days a week for the past 15 years.
So you brought him on, obviously with that experience, and it's been going very well. And we have a lot of information to talk about, financing and real estate. That's what this show's about. And Chuckits always has those details and that good information on what's going on in the housing market. We're also going to talk about VA financing and what is involved with VA financing. So we're going to kind of get into this real quick. You guys have anything going on this last week that maybe you guys want to share with the audience?
Yeah. So I was actually driving down here and I was talking to Dan, okay? And I could hear in the background, it sounded like he was at the grocery store. And I was like, hey, Dan, can you give me something to drink, man? I'm thirsty, right? And he was like, I'm not at the store. All I hear is ding, ding, right? Or beep, beep. I'm like, this dude's scanning something. Why would you do that?
How did you know I wasn't at a clothing store? How did you know
I could tell. I could tell. So I called him out on it. I'm like, dude, stop being cheap. Get me a bottle of water. I'm thirsty.
That checkout lady, she heard I put it on speaker, and I was laughing the whole time because she's like, who is this guy? Then she started getting what was going on.
And I could literally hear you scanning it. Beep. Beep. I'm like, give me something to drink. I ain't at the store. Beep. Beep.
You know what, man? That's what friends do.
Yeah, no.
You just want to see I want to check and see if you're paying attention.
Man, stop being cheap, bro. You ain't Asian.
All right. So, Brad, what's going on, man? What's going on with you? Anything going on this week?
Showing homes today. New homes up in Summerlin.
How'd that go?
It went awesome.
What'd you end up looking at?
Bigsby Creek.
Oh, nice. Woodside Homes, right?
Yeah, Woodside Homes. And then we looked at some Toll Brothers as well.
Cool. Gotcha.
So,
why don't you speak into the mic?
oh, sorry.
Hey, he has to turn that mic like this so he can stare at you.
I'm just going to sit right here in the corner.
No, you can always move the mic. You know that, right?
Yeah, I am. But then I'm at an awkward angle for my body.
Okay. So how was Bigsby Creek? I mean, they have some single stories and some
yeah,
two stories
so
out there, right?
they're in the second phase right now, and they're doing a whole collection of just single stories right now. So what's kind of good about them is they do all the single stories in one section versus, you know, like a lot of the other builders. They'll have two stories next to one stories and so forth. So
you know what? They got a floor plan out there on a single story that I really do like. It's a casita, right?
That's the one we saw. That's the one they like.
Yeah, that one's a banger.
That's the one they're probably going to pull the trigger on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, they better hurry up. They ain't got that many lots out there.
No, they don't. They just...
How quick are those lots going? I mean, you get somebody out here that's saying, I want to look for a home. I mean, are they already wrapped up pretty much by the time that you got to get one built, but... You know what I mean?
So this is how it works. Like, with the builders, they don't just release, like, let's say if they have 150, they don't release it all at one time.
Yeah.
They'll do probably like 3 or 4 at one time, and what they'll do is they'll get everybody all excited. So it's basically pretty much first come, first serve, and you are going to be paying a lot premium depending on the lot too as well.
How long does that usually take? Obviously builders are different, but how long is that process?
Right now in today's market, I would say about 6 months. But then you have companies like Toll Brothers. They'll have take about anywhere from 8 to 10 months. But then you have companies like Blue Heron could take up to like 12 months to 14 months. But remember, in these contracts, the builders, it states that they have about 24 months to build.
Wow, 24 months. So I see a lot of people, I've had a lot of people in my past, I've been doing this for a little bit of time now, but there's occasions where stuff falls through.
Yeah.
And so that inventory that they had that they thought was going to be sold is now built. And somebody, they can find some type of diamond in the rough there where they don't have to wait.
A lot of them now will do quick delivery homes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's basically a spec house. They already have it built ahead of time. So like Bigsby Creek right now, I think They have 6 or 7 of them of the single stories that will be done at the end of May, early June. So the frame's up and all that stuff. So you can still come in and pick out the flooring and cabinets and stuff like that if you want, but the basics of it are already getting going.
Now, for the new listeners, what is a spec home?
So it's basically a house that they build ahead of time.
Okay.
So a lot of the builders found out there's a little niche in the market for a new home. And as Chuckus was saying before, it could take 6 months, it can take 12 months to build a house. Well, what if you want a new house, but you don't have 6 months to wait, you don't have 12 months to wait, or you just simply want one now? What they found is there's a niche in there where if they go ahead and build it ahead of time, they choose the flooring, the cabinets, and all that stuff, but they're choosing it to the generality of what most people are going to probably like. So they're taking a bit of a risk by putting that up ahead of time, but it serves a need.
Yeah, so it's more of a general...
It's already built.
Yeah.
So there's pros and cons to it, right? So
of course.
If you're looking to move into something quick, right, you don't want to wait 6 months, and that's something that you may want to get into. The downfall is that you're going to probably be paying a price, and you may not get all the options that you want. You may not like the flooring, you may not like the cabinets, but that's something that you may have to make the sacrifice. But sometimes you can find a standing inventory like that where it has everything that you want. Not only that, if it's been sitting on the market for some time, that's where you're going to get your steep discounts on those type of
There's
deals.
one at Toll Brothers that I showed today.
Yeah.
They actually put a pool in.
Is it under contract?
Nope.
You didn't get under contract? We got to let you go.
Well...
Right, now
that easy, huh?
You know. So what happened, man?
So they originally had this at 805, and they just dropped it down to 765, I think. So they just dropped it 40 or 50 grand. They just dropped it. Already put a pool in, everything.
And this is what, Mesa Ridge, you're saying?
No, Shadow Point.
Shadow Point? Okay,
Yep.
Got
I think it's like 2,300 square feet, single story.
Okay. And Shadow Point is located in Summerlin, West Summerlin, right on the Stonebridge, yes. So that is the new villa. They have about 650 homes out there, and they're pretty much rock and rolling out there. So
they are.
If I had to pick a location out of all the villas, I think that's one of the first villas that I would actually really take a look at because of the location.
Now let me say I'm a lender, pluses and minuses. If somebody comes to you and they want to go find a new home, how many builders out there have their own lender?
All of them.
All of them.
Every single one.
And they pretty much own the companies too as well.
So the percentage is pretty much everybody. So in some ways, if you have clients, I've been working with clients, it's very hard to really kind of compete with that builder's lender. So I just wanted to see if you guys have a way of like, okay, you know what? This guy's already working with a lender. And if he's working with a lender, do they obviously take over from there? And if, you know what I mean, kind of comparing notes as far as if you already came in with a lender versus not a lender, you know?
Well, the best thing for the buyer in general is to compare rates.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the first thing I tell everybody is lenders try to set it up. So the builder's lender sets it up like this. They basically add on BS to take away BS to make it look like they're saving you money.
Okay. I got
it. Is what they're doing.
Did he just call out the builder?
No, well, you know.
Hey guys, if you guys are just tuning in or listening out there live on the radio, if you have any questions regarding real estate or financing, dial 702-257-5396. Or if you are interested in purchasing a home and want to get in the market and start looking at homes, visit lvhomeexperts.com.
So we're talking about VA buyers. We're going to kind of talk about this segment of this topic on this show. So you guys deal with a lot of VA buyers?
I love VA buyers. Did you know VA buyers are one of the easiest transactions to do, but a lot of listing agents frown upon that, and also sellers. But the question is why? I think the reason why is because a lot of listing agents, they're afraid because they don't know how to piece that deal together, and they think it's very hard.
That's exactly what it is.
Well, I think that, you know, when you're shopping for the right lender to do VA, it's really just about who's going to give you the best deal, the best rate. VA buyers come in, they're very, most often they're very qualified.
Now, when we say VA buyers, for the new listeners out there, what is VA buyers?
VA buyer is a veteran of military that they've done enough fleet time where they accomplished where they can pretty much get certificate of eligibility where they're eligible to go buy a home, usually with a discounted, limited. There's no money out of pocket, but there's limited guidelines and things. It's like really a lenient way to get into a loan.
Gotcha, but you have to be in the military or served in the military.
You have to have fleet time in the military to make that happen, absolutely.
Gotcha, so you can't just join today and quit tomorrow.
No, and also you can't be...
I don't think they'll let you do that.
You also have to be honorably discharged, not dishonorably discharged, because, you know, when you leave the military, they want you to leave in good standing. So you have to have that eligibility there.
Gotcha. And talking about that, what is the county guidelines?
Well, the county limit, there's still a county limit. There's this whole thing that's going on. It's Blue Water Navy Act that came out, and it's letting some veterans really come in and get a loan all the way up to $1 million. And yeah, and there's no additional, usually there's a 25% overage on county limit of down payment that you have to come in with. So whatever that amount was, you would pay 25% of whatever that is, and then you would come in and do that. Now, if you're full eligibility and you don't currently have a VA loan, and it's not going concurrent from one VA loan to the next VA loan, you can get up to $1 million.
Is if I'm VA eligible, which means I can actually qualify based upon the debt to income ratio, I can borrow up to $1 million and put $1 down on a house.
It's not $1 down anymore. It's really zero. That's like an old terminology, but also it's not off of debt ratio. It's off of residual income.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, so you can actually go higher.
Give me an example.
Well, I mean, debt to income ratio, if it's over 50%, a lot of times you got these banks out here that are like, oh, I don't know, this is kind of getting to be a high risk. They don't really go off that. They look and see if the veteran has enough money left over on their monthly expenses to be able to afford that home. So it's something that is really a benefit to the VA buyer. Everybody thinks it's guaranteed and that they don't have to pay it back. They actually do through their eligibility. It's like, I got a free loan, I'm getting, everything's great. It's not the case. I mean, you still have to pay the VA department or the VA back itself.